Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, we're going to be working on Carnival of the Urchin Queen yet again, and we've actually reached kind of an endpoint on it. I know, a little bit sooner than I had originally planned, but it's turning out I'd say pretty solid. There's always more you can do with games like these, but I think from what is being requested, you don't need like this excessive amount of tools and things. Actually, I should. So let's take a look at when I did clean up actions a little bit. Not much, but enough. Pretty much just cleaned up wording and made things a little bit easier to understand for AP costs, because action point costs are a little bit wonky, to say the least. But it's one of the things on paper, everything works as planned. It's possibly in play, things could get a little bit iffy, depending on the situation, but overall I feel it's good. It works. The math adds itself up relatively well. I added the note on, hey, if you're on the ground, you get a plus 2d6 to your roll, which is very nice in case they're trying, actually I should play plus 2d6. Actually plus 2d6 to hit. Yeah, I'm going to have to review combat probably again and again and again just to make sure. That'll probably be when I do my full revision of everything. Combat will probably be the first thing I really go over and click through. Let's see. I also added my note on narrative versus mechanics. Space distance works. It's actually probably the more refined version of space distance than I've used in other games. But then we get to combat. Now, the equipment list I already said pretty early on it wasn't going to be this heavily extensive nightmare. It was going to be fairly controlled. So there technically is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's technically only 13 melee weapons. Now, some of you may be balking at this, be like, my god, only 13 melee weapons? There must be more. What if I want to use a cricket bat instead of a bat? Well, I left them open enough where you can kind of maneuver them as you wish. And I even have a note at the bottom there, which is, these are baseline weapons. If you want to make a pocket knife, call it a shiv, call it a shiv. It works the exact same way. If you have a hatchet, but it's kind of this scrappy thing that you put together, you have a hatchet that's a scrappy thing put together. A truncheon is a club. A baton is there's a lot of maneuverability when it comes to these things. So feel free to edit them as you see fit. Sledgehammer, why are you this way, Sledgehammer? There we go. Yeah, the sledge, I think action points are good on this. I wanted to bump them up because the pocket knife was having some issues. Because the pocket knife was technically a better weapon than the bat, because you could just stab someone repeatedly 7 times and do 7 damage with it, and do more damage than if you were to smack someone over the head with a bat. So I ended up kind of bumping up the cost a little bit. Just like, if you have a pocket knife, you're going to be able to do pretty solidly, but obviously, smacking someone over the head with a bat, a bit more effective. And ranged weapons. Ranged weapons, there's not that many. You do have just carbine, converted shotguns, hunting shotguns, 2 revolvers, basic service rifle, which would technically be a martini, or a Swinburne Henry carbine. And I do actually have 2 guns here, the automatic self-ejecting handgun and the Victorian automatic rifle, which are pretty much stolen wholeheartedly from the Order 1886, which is a terrible game, but it's actually pretty good when drawing for inspiration. And pretty much, the big thing with guns is that they all have this tag. the industrial tag, because guns are very deadly. Technically, getting shot with a service rifle can kill you instantly. Very easily, in fact. Getting shot with a rifle in this day and age is a good chance to die. Or even the police revolver can technically put someone on their ass immediately. Because if you roll even remotely well on that, you know what I'm going to do? Bring out my dice here. I'm just going to see if I roll and I hit someone with a revolver, how much damage I would do immediately. Now watch me roll a 4. You're going to hear a beautiful sound here. That's my dice rolling. So I rolled 2 3s, a 4 to 6, so I technically did 16 damage. So immediately that character is effectively almost on death's door, because they're not only losing negative 3d6 to all of their rolls going forward now, they're also about, let's see, so 16, 4, they're 5 away from dying. You see the value of a gun. So let's actually, so we have 4, let's do a service rifle next. So you get shot with a rifle. There's some more dice. Come on. I have an entire, case full of dice that I've just acquired over the years. Roll for damn d20s. Where are you? Come on, d6s, where are you? There you are. Probably, this is a beautiful sound, I know. So, I'm getting shot with a service rifle. How much damage do I take? So, let's see. 4... 2, 2. Alright, so I'm taking 4, 7, 10, 18. I'm dead. I take 23 damage. So I'm just dead if I get shot with a service rifle immediately. And I didn't even roll that high. I rolled 2 1s, a 2, 2 3, 2 4s, and a 5. I didn't even roll a 6 anywhere in that. And I am over dead, in fact, because I've been shot with a gun that meant to kill people. And I am a child. So, overall, guns very dangerous, but guns that do no damage to outsiders, because they have the industrial tag. And that's kind of the point. Where you can't just bring a gun to fight Satan, because Satan doesn't care about your bullets. It laughs at you and giggles and says, ha ha ha, good joke. That's very funny. And everyone laughs at you because you try to shoot death in the face with a gun. Let's see, we have kick. Kick is actually pretty scary with a lot of these weapons, because you have to effectively spend 2 AP to not get knocked on your ass. So if, I'm going to shoot with my shotgun, you effectively have to spend 9 action points to not be on your ass. Which, quite a few guns have the kick. Most of the big damage ones, such as the Victoriana, which technically a Urchin has to spend 4 action points per shot. So maximum they can get 3 shots in before they are forced to stop. And that's if they bank all of their action points. While someone who is an adult doesn't have to worry about kick. So they can technically fire this upwards of 6 times in a row a turn and do 46 damage 6 times. Now, anyone can probably find out that 46 times 6 is a little bit of damage. So we have weapon tags, tinctures, medicine, and other goods. One of the big things about Victorian medicine, for those who don't know, is Victorian medicine was about giving you the best drugs available, otherwise known as opium, morphine, and, God forbid, cocaine. It was the miracle. For every private doctor there was a dozen people selling snake oil at this time, or the local barber being like, well, I don't quite know how to fix you, but I can sure as well give you something that's going to numb your pain. And overall, that was a very valid thing. So a lot of your medical tools to relieve the stress is based off of, you guessed it, drugs. And drugs are painful. Drugs do terrible things to you. The only ones that aren't necessarily addictive are things like lantern roots, which is pretty much I am a human lantern now because my eyes glow in the dark. Or fairy juice, which is the Urchin Queen's primary thing, which is a healing potion, but it also makes you go insane. Welcome to Darkened London, everybody. You're 13 years old. Go get him, Tiger. So, let's see. Which I actually should put in a side note here. Side note on addiction. As noted above. Of the miracle medicine of the age was primarily heavily addictive drugs. So when a young urchin is forced to use morphine to mitigate the pain, addiction comes soon after. If the game master chooses to use addiction rules, the character can use the amount equal to their bod before they become addicted. Once addicted, the character requires two hits of the substance to feel the effects. Then requires 3, and 4, etc. Addiction should kill the character's pockets as well as their options for the future. There we go. Kind of a side rules. Let's see, we want to insert table 1 by 1 right here on addiction. Don't get addicted to drugs, kids, mostly opium, because opium is bad for you. But who doesn't love smoking opium? I'm drinking already. It's only 5:30. The sad part is this is considered an early stream for me. God, I gotta get my schedule back on order. The end of days has really messed up my ability to not be a godforsaken vampire. Let's see, what else do we need? Reactive action, actions in combat. Oh, I know what we need. Technically, we need 2 things. How do I want to do this? No. We're going to go down to items. Oh crap! We need armor, don't we? Crap. Project Inchling. Works. Bandejos. Oh god. Give me armor. Okay, so we want to select our basic armors. Put you right here, and we don't really have to worry about armor weight, but what we're going to do is action point penalty. Rose, padded leathers. Victorian. Padded and heavy jackets, leather and simple metals, metal breastplate. Actually, I should say jerry rigged breastplates. The armor penalty 2, 3, 4, 5. Pseudo plate. You don't want to wear heavy armors when I'm trying to get across here, because heavy armor isn't useful to you. But heavy armor is useful for adults who have more action points, so they can just ignore more damage out of you, because they are giant, terrifying monsters. Hello, phone. What do you need? You're about to tell me that I can manage my Twitch stream from my phone? My god, I can manage my Twitch stream from my phone. Actually. Might actually just make this a side note. You know what? I think I will. Side note on armor. The Victorian era saw a distinct move away from yesteryear's armors and ability. Yesteryear's armors with more standardized gears, heavier armaments, made wearing plate mail a thing of the past. Even cavalry, traditional wearers of armor found a little use of heavier plate against breech-loaded rounds of their enemies. The characters are assumed to be wearing relatively regular clothing with little in the way of armor value. But if a character actively wishes to wear something to protect themselves, consult the following list and the associated associated action point penalty. Action point penalty. The action point penalty reduces the starting amount of AP as well as the subsequent AP gained per round. And then we're going to put this side note right here, insert table, I should actually go on conventional armor. This is what this entire stream is effectively going to be. Is me adding side notes and me making things pretty clean before we get to advancement and enemies. Okay, let's see. Armor. Additional armor value. APP. Example. Basic armor dash space dash space dash space. You're not really supposed to wear armor, that's the thing. It's not like in Call of Cthulhu, for example, everyone's rocking it around in their goddamn Kevlar unless we're playing Delta Green, but if we're playing Delta Green, by golly gee willikers, we're playing Delta goddamn Green. Yeah, wearing heavy armor is damn near a death sentence, to be honest. Oh, my phone. Let's see, heavy armor, space, there we go. Compromise. Hello, phone, what do you need? Alright. Hello, phone. My beautiful phone ringtone, which I've terrified my friends with more than once, and anyone who happens to be walking by me in the store. It's great. Let's see. Weapons. Nature of these weapons. I feel like I'm missing something. We have all our magic, familiars. Oh, enchanted items. That's the final point I'll probably put down here. We're going to put side note, enchanted, and important. Enchanted and significant items. Throughout the Urchin's trip through darkened London, they will encounter a variety of tools to assist them in their adventures. People. I'm a very professional streamer, so I always have my phone go ding 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 dingy ding ding. Let's see if that works. Oof. let's see, conventional armor, so enchanted, significant. There are a variety of tools to assist them in their adventures. These magical items have significance to the urchins as well as those who used to own them. So, an urchin can have a number of enchanted and significant items equal to their current essence score. The current essence. Going over the amount of tools either renders them useless, or simply prevents them from working properly. A character can enchant any item in their possession by casting a spell on it. From any level. On it of any difficulty, and increasing the difficulty by 1 step to make it permanent until dispelled. So we want to insert table right here. Half of me wants to make this its own section, but I don't know where to put it. Like the equipment section? Would you put this in the equipment section or put you in the magic section? Actually, you know what? Put you right here. Encounter. Enchanted and significant item. Number of enchanted or significant items equal to their current essence, going through the amount of tools that either or prevents them from working properly. A character can enchant any item in their possession by casting a spell on it of any difficulty, increasing the difficulty by 1 step to make it permanent until dispelled by the caster or another spell caster. Example, enchanted items. Actually, I should put a significant item is one that is fundamentally tied to an individual in darkened London for good or for ill. They have minor bonuses or problems, but are not considered magical in the conventional terms, but simply items of importance. So, example, enchanted items. We're gonna say wind walking boots. And let's see, we want to manipulate a single element, so it's going to be a medium difficulty. Key roll, so it's going to be keep that right there, and we let's see, magic real fast. We'll do overworld, yeah, easy. So it'd be moderate. The character's boots have a slight levitational ability, allowing them to glide down from high spaces with ease. What would be it? Oh yeah, jacket of holding, and that would be an other of wear, and we'll say that would be, we'll make that complex probably. Yeah, complex. Oh, difficult. The character's jacket pockets are nearly endless and can fit most small things infinitely. Infinitely. Without limit. And let's get one more magic item, one more enchanted item in here. We'll actually put this heading 3. Oh. Hello, Sachiko. How are you doing? Let's see. We want to do... We'll do the Path of Life next, just because I like that. Ring stitching. Since it would be an easy thing to do, we'll make it a moderate. Actually, moderate, yeah. Character's ring passively heals 1 blood every hour. As long as it is worn on the ring finger. Finger. Don't worry about it. As you see, we're only on episode 4 here. No worry. If things go according to plan today, I might actually have the full draft ready for you either today or early tomorrow. Just because things are progressing fairly nicely. Let's see. On episode 3, the last time, we did combat. As you see here, we've expanded a little bit in case you haven't realized. It's just a smidge. And combat is interesting. If there's any part that I'm going to actually, when I do give it to you the first draft, I'm going to ask like you to look over a little bit, and I'll look over again, is combat, because it's an action point based system. Pretty much every character starts with 7 action points that they can do any action they wish to. They can save some, they can use some, and actively it's one to encourage them to move around and do things. Obviously, adults have more action points to work with, but they don't have spells, obviously. Outsiders may have an exorbitant amount of godforsaken action points, but they're also outsiders and operate on their own wavelength. So, it's just the costs are a little bit wonky here. I ran through the basics of it with a friend, and he said, like, yeah, no, that works, but on paper versus in play, sometimes things get a little bit wonky there, so I might have to just double check things. To a degree, it was actually based on a game called Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones, which, while I played the game, I did not like it very much, mostly because combat was incredibly goddamn slow because of the animations. Not the actual combat bit, but it was actually a fairly elegant system and did kind of promote that, do I want to act quickly right now, or do I want to save some points for later, or do I want to just go all in and just try to blast down this person? So it was an interesting back and forth, but XCOM does have a little bit, Jagged Alliance as well, if you ever played that. One thing I did do, because you were hesitant about guns, I remember that. Here's all our basic weapons. I did put guns in. Now, the key thing of why characters getting a gun is, one, not really incentivized, is, one, they're hard to get. You know, that's just hard to get, as well as they don't do actually any damage to outsiders. They are fundamentally not good against the big, scary things you would say, oh, we want a gun for this. It's the, oh, hey, my service rifle does 8d6 damage, and I rolled earlier to see, and it can instantly kill a player like that. The problem is, you shoot it against Satan magic, and it's going to do 0d0 damage, even if you hit. But that's kind of the back and forth on it. Is they're very deadly when used against people, and they should be, used as such. They're like, when someone brings out a gun, suddenly the entire fight changes. It's no longer a fight of, beating them up with hammers and, knives and stuff. It's the, oh crap, he's got a gun, everybody run. I would say your bigger guns, like the Victoriana automatic rifle, that's going to go with the really high tier enemies. Like the characters, there's a chance that the characters will never see a Victoriana the entire game. Easy. If you bring in people like the Crown, then they might be bringing Victorianas. Or even if, like, I'm hoping that kind of, yeah, exactly. I did make it a particular thing, like slingshots aren't considered industrial. That's kind of the tag being used to kind of signify me no do damage against outsiders. All the melee weapons are not considered industrial either. That's kind of the balancing factor. I didn't want, like, no weapons are useful against them, and if you fight outsiders, prepare to die. No, it's just like, if you get in there, go for it, because technically you're hitting them with your body, because you are swinging a weapon. That's kind of the back and forth. I've also realized razors are really powerful, but welcome to razor gangs back in the Victorian era. And anytime, if you ever want a terrifying thing to think about, just look up Victorian straight razors and realize people use these to cut the shit out of each other. And, picture, some little kid running at you with one of those drawn and slashing at you. I'd be like, nah, screw this, I'm out. I'm outie. I don't like it when people bring out the razor now. God. You got some urchin who wants to steal my pocket money. I'm like, oh God. Let's see, tincture. Now I'm just working on enchanted items. And examples, significant items. Corporal Jennings saber. Corporal Jennings. Another fire. And left. Oh yeah, no, it's... If you ever get bored, just Google razor gangs. They were a real thing, and not fun. They were actually kind of scary. If you've ever watched Peaky Blinders, they mention them a little bit. Actually, when did the British acquire Hong Kong? Oh, right, okay. Honestly, you can do it. If you want to go for that kind of weapon, what I would honestly do, if you want to make that, either you can make your own, and I would say probably use Bat, do 6 damage, action points 5, two-handed, remove KO, replace it with Gory, and instead of stun 2, I would put maybe Pierce 1? It's kind of your call. But yeah, no, that's entirely possible. Or if you just want a comically oversized razor, go for it. Like, I intentionally make equipment sections a little bit open-ended, so if you do want to just build your own weapon, go for it. You're just like, now it's time. It's Scissor Man time! Like, no, Scissor Man, please. I'll never be able to look at safety scissors again. Honestly, you can build just about any kind of weapon you want. If you... I'd say the only kind of weapons that are kind of more difficulty... No, probably. Yeah, right now I literally have chill out piano music, relaxing background music for work. Unless I'm making a reference to a song then by accident, then probably not. What's another? What else was another good one? I had a bunch of ideas when I was taking a walk earlier today, and now I suddenly can't remember any of them. Oh yeah. That Dr. Scapel. Urchins in the lower slum, trying to find a magical organ inside of them to correct their humors. His scalpel still hungers. Flesh of the innocent, needy. Gain the gory tag when attacking children. There we go. Yeah, watch other streams. I'm not very interesting, to be honest. I just write things. Let's see, we have addictions and Mad Dr. Scalpel. There we go. Gory attack and attacking children, because that's one thing about this game I've realized, is that there's going to be a lot of Stephen King child murder. I don't even intend it. Tinctures examples. Enchanted significant items. Okie dokie then. Okay, so we're done with these. Done with equipment. Now we get to worry about advancement. That's how I like to view my streams, is chillax. We're all chill here. Except me when I snap my arms back into place. Advancement. Nobody's to somebody's. Terrible as always. There's no good way to say like an advancement section without making it sound fracking terrible. Let's see. As the urchins grow in power and skill, their skills and abilities will change, and skills and abilities will improve gradually. Everything but chill, yeah, chillax. Just chill. The urchins will gather experience points. See, part of me wants to go down the traditional EXP route. The other half of me wants to do something a little bit unique. But I may just say both, because I am a terrible, terrible game designer, and I don't know what, and I can't commit to anything. We'll gather experience points. Actually, I should just say experience. We'll gather experience, EXP, by advancing the story, and gradually improving themselves. But as with most things, urchins can take a shortcut if needed, actually if desired. Using acquire. Okay, how do I want to do this? How do I want to word it? No. You will quickly notice that I write very quickly. In all of this. Let's see, how many words are we in at this point? Yep, 6,356. Yeah. I write very quickly, and you will notice lots of little things like that, because I am terrible when it comes to that. So, most likely, when going through that, feel free to point those out to me, because I would like to say that I'm this fantastic, brilliant writer with absolutely no flaws whatsoever. However, I am from Burgistan, and Burgistani education sometimes bleeds through. XP by that story improving themselves. As most things, urchins can take a shortcut if desired. Using... Effectively, what I'm thinking about doing is you have the shortcut option. You can do the shortcut option, which is pretty much you're cutting deals with powerful outsiders to pretty much get bonus EXP, but you're also cutting deals with shitty outsiders who ask for things. So like, yeah, I'll give you some bonus experience, but I also want want your hand. Or, hey, yeah, no, this is I'll give you a little bit more experience points so you can level up a little faster. I also want your right eye. Or, oh, hey, that's really cool and all, but I also kind of ask for a few bodies. I don't care what they are. I just want bodies because I want to make furniture. Like, I want the outsiders' bargains to be really terrible, but it's just like, if I get one more experience point, I can buy another level of essence. This is a good deal, right? So who cares if I don't have a hand anymore? I can get a new one. Like... How do I word that? Black deals? Exactly. Because one thing I've indirectly noticed over time with this is that there are safe ways of doing things, and there's also fast ways of doing things. Where, let's say I have some mental damage, the safe thing to do is go home, relax for a week, and I'll reduce it gradually. The fast option is taking a hit of morphine, or taking a hit of opium, and suddenly I don't have to worry about my mind problems anymore. Yeah, I'm higher than a kite, but who cares? Life's great! And when you have a bunch of 13-year-olds trying to buy morphine because they're all morphine addicts because they need it to get into fights. That's the word I'm looking for. Faustian packs. I knew that was... I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I wonder if there's another term for it. Like, I was looking for that phrase. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Faustian. Using Faustian packs with outsiders, the urchin may acquire bonus EXP by performing deeds for the outsider, or signing a contract with them. These contracts are rarely fair. Yep, welcome to the wonderful world of morphine addiction. You also have some fun things such as cocaine, cannabis. Just straight up opium's a good one. That's always a fun one. What other drugs do I have? I'll have you know, I am now on a list, thanks to this game, somewhere. Being this, like, my god, this guy was looking up morphine, drugs, cocaine. Like, good god, what is this man doing? I'm like, Victorian, it's Victorian opium, it's Victorian tobacco. But, I effectively have this right here. This is like, we need health potions, because I realize health can go down really fast. So I'm like, oh yeah, here's your health potions by the Urchin Queens, alchemists. Yay! Mind you, you increase mind and soul damage, but you reduce your blood by 3d6. You also have the humor corrector, which is you just redistribute your damage across everything. So, hey, I have 15 mind damage, drink that. No, I don't. I have 10 blood damage now. Coughs up blood. It's like, this is fine. We have good old cocaine, which just gives you more AP per combat, because nothing says children magical people other than diving You diving headfirst into your cocaine pile. Hit me. Come on. That terrible sound is my notebook. So let's see, we have to increase our... This is a bat. Okay, this is worrying me. Let's see, so we can raise those naturally, we can raise this naturally. Require additional skills, require additional paths. 1, 2, 3, 4 things, so... Actually, that should be 2. Heart-shaped symbol. I do actually have an addiction mechanic in here. So in case that's a thing you want to use, it's here. Pretty much you need to buy more morphine to actually make sure the morphine works. And then you have to get more morphine to make sure that morphine works. Yeah, no, just... Welcome to the wonderful world of drugs, otherwise known as modern medicine in Victorian London. Because that's kind of the terrifying thing if you think about it too much in, like, Victorian London and such like that, because for every, like, sophisticated doctor person there was about a dozen people whose entire job can be summarized as, okay, you're coming to me, you have the common cold, morphine. Oh, you're not feeling too well, stomach cramps, Coke. It's like, I think you're feeling a little sick, leeches. It's like, we need to correct your humors here. It's just like, you may have just the common cold, but now you have leeches on your face. Have fun. Even better when you consider that this is also dark in London. So you have all the other fun things that medical professionals that are not professionals may use. So, actually, I'm going to reduce that down just to normal text, not Faustian. Increasing attribute is going to cost, let's see, 2/4. So you start with 6. 9, 11, 15. It would be current attributes plus 1. Current attribute times 2 EXP. Correct mundo. Yeah, no, that's a noted thing. So I don't want, when you're going into a fight in this game, you have to kind of get the impression of, can you win? And yeah, it's like, can I win? Yeah, that's how you have to ask. And it's like, yeah, we can win. We're going to take damage then. How much damage? Can we afford that? Just like, well, I do have this morphine. Like, where'd you get that? Or, hey, we do have some fairy potions we, got from the Urchin Queen. Being like, maybe we can down these if we get hurt. And rushing into combat too fast will result in more harm, and you will get hurt. Mostly when it comes to the bigger enemies that can slap you around and suddenly you're bleeding internally from a lot of things you should not be bleeding from. Acquiring a new. Relearning a skill. Relearning a skill. Replacing a current skill. So let's see, how do I want to do magic? What's the numbers on the magic here? So I might do... increasing path, increasing step on a path. Actually, current value times 2 EXP, just to keep it simple. Taking a step on a new path, and we're going to make that a solid 7 EXP. Yeah, that's the... Effectively with 7 skills only, like, I'm assuming that, like, a decent character is going to be able to get their core skills in about 5. You're probably going to notice that. But it's just in case, like, wow, I have the dancing skill and I have never used it once. I'm going to replace it with acrobatics or something. It's like, reward, like, give them that in case, like, there's the, oh no, you messed up a little bit here. This, like, there you go. Taking a step on a new path, 7 experience. So, alright. So, for example, my boy here, Donovan White, he has the paths of Self and Beast at 2. If he wants to make a completely new one to, let's say, open up Death, he's going to have to spend 7 experience points. It's going to hurt, but that's what he wants to step on a completely new path. However, if he just wants to increase Self, it's going to cost him 6. But if he wants to bump that up to 4, it's going to cost him, you guessed it, it's going to cost him, it's actually, bump it up to 2, it's going to be 4, 6, and then it's going to be 10, 4, 6, if I can do math correct, you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to do the math internally in my head, which is not a good sign. But gradually speaking, getting on a path is harder than being a part of it. So if you're one of the people who decided, I'm going to dump all my initial 4 points into a single... Yeah, okay, that's it. which is effectively 2 new paths to level it up twice. But again, if you're dedicating yourself to one path, you're going to be good at that one path. I did check of what someone who's like, I'm going to dump my 4 initial points onto a single one. And it's a good investment, mind you, because you're getting technically more bang for your buck by doing that. The problem is it's really expensive to get on any other path. So you're kind of pigeonholing yourself in one specific thing. Which, that may be your entire thing. Honestly, if I didn't want to test things out for, like, Donovan here, I would probably make him self 4. And that's his entire gimmick, is that he is going to improve himself, and he's going to punch people in the face while being very mad at them. Because he is a very simple child, but we love him. But, alright. There we go, that's paths. Yeah, that's just about everything you can really improve, but we're also going to make this is factoring in the Urchin improving naturally. However, through Faustian pacts, deals with otherworldly beings, or possibly the Urchin Queen herself, characters may obtain unique improvements, skills, or additional steps on a path for free. But nothing is free in dark London. Not even dreams. There we go. So that little side down there is saying, let's say I am making a deal with an outsider called the Seamstress. Seamstress wants, to pretty much use people's skin to make furniture of people. And she's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you some EXP, but I'm also going to immediately give you a new skill. It's going to be the stitching skill. You now literally have a skill called stitching. That's a brand new skill that I have. And I can do everything that she does exceedingly well. I may want to replace that later on. I may not want to replace it later on. But it's kind of that you make the deals, you're going to get rewarded. And you always want to encourage that. I've kind of looking at this. You want to encourage people to make these terrible deals, but you also want them to not make them. Because again, safety, not safe. And I should actually note... if during any point the urchin reaches 7 essence, the urchin has to make a decision at the behest of their familiar. Do they wish to continue walking down this path? UE. Darkness. Or do they wish to remain human? This decision will fundamentally alter the character in a way that is difficult to fully comprehend to the mortal mind. Exactly. You're getting it now. But mind you, stitching can mean a lot of things. and someone who goes really too deep into it and thinks that they're going to be really, really good friends with this one, well, this outsider's good. She's nice. We like her. We're good friends, right? Right? They're not going to betray me. I'm not going to betray them. We're all going to be buddies. We're all pals here. What do you mean my familiar looks like he's a stuffed animal now? Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Everything's fine. We're Gucci. And also now I get to side note. Comprehending for the mortal mind. After achieving the second metamorphosis, the character is reborn and much more powerful. Outside of being connected to the magical realm a bit, deeper, they also have more abilities to increase their power. All attributes can be increased to 13. All attributes can be increased to 13, including essence. The major downside is, of course, the complete lack of soul, complete lack of humanity, and the hatred of 99% of London. But that's fine, right? Yes, you're looking at the correct way of approaching this. I don't want to give things away in case one of your players looks at this being like, wowzers, so that's what's going to happen. I don't really want to do that. If you want to tell them that, cool. But in this book, I never really directly say it, you turn into what you turn into, but just here you go, give me a little something here, give me a little something there, and we can and we suddenly all work together. To quote, bada bing, bada boom. Now, let's see. Can I fit it here? Let's play the game. Can I fit it here? Absolutely not. Actually, it looks disgusting, but I can. Can I? Polka. Ta-da! So we got an advancement. Advancements, nobody's a somebody's. Open tags. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Ah, yeah, that's it. I'm going to actually ask you. What would you say to what would there be how do I word this correctly? Effectively, what I'm worried about is that if the characters find that there's only really one way to solve problems, you're going to have people start slicing each other up with razors. And combat gets very deadly very quickly, so I was wondering, is there a way to non-lethally decide something? I.e., is there a way if that urchins duel among each other, whether legally or not? And if not, is there a way I can make one? Because I have an idea. even if they're unofficial. Effectively, what the issue I'm running into is the characters can the escalation of conflict is really fast. And it's like, it's the second someone starts getting cut up, everyone is now, it's in, we're here now. Like, one solid round of, like, if you get jumped and someone lands some nasty blows on you right away, suddenly you're up shit creek without a paddle real fast. If mostly like someone jumps you with a razor, slashes you three solid times, suddenly you're rolling negative 2d6 on everything because you're bleeding badly and you just don't have really able to do anything. So instead of immediately escalating into bloodshed, it's like, I throw my glove down at you, me and you have a disagreement, we're going to solve this the dueling way. And then instead of drawing pistols and shooting one another, how would they do that? Because my idea was effectively Devil Dance, which is pretty much a dog fight / cat fight between people's familiars. Instead of rolling your baseline attributes, you're just rolling your essence and trying to make sure that your familiar beats up their familiar. With the adage of, if you win, obviously, yay, you are proven correctly, but if you lose access to your magic for a week as your familiar recovers. So it's that kind of, there's an obvious risk there. And if you keep pushing, you're like, oh, well, I want to win this, but he has more essence than me, so obviously I need to push myself. Well, prepare to hurt yourself more, because you're going to have to expend health for essence and more dice. So it's like, oh, cool, I need to win this fight. I need 2 additional dice. Here, let me just stab my arm real fast and start bleeding profusely. Oh, crap. I suddenly have 2 more dice, but I'm, 6, I'm 6 blood in. But then he can raise the stakes and be like, well, if you bet 6 blood, I bet 7 mine, and I'm going crazy now trying to beat you. It's like, well, crap, I'm still behind. And like, do I bet 8 something? Do I bet 8 of my soul for it? Or do I just try to kill myself almost and bet 8 blood? Yeah, I'll be 95% dead, but at least I'll have the advantage, I think. Exactly. It's, even if they weren't necessarily formal, it's just like, we all have to work together because we're all friends and stuff. Okay, everyone's cool with each other. You have a disagreement, bring it before the court, everything is great. Even if it's like the back alley being this like, my coven hates your coven and we're competing over this territory, instead of drawing knives and shanking each other, it's like, okay, we want to do this, let's do this right here, right now, you versus me, who gets this territory? If you have a specific way in mind, do tell. If you're kind of thinking about it right now and that my method isn't quite the way that you're thinking of, tell me. I can hold off on it and we can add it later. That's fine. Just an idea. I'm actually going to put a bit, yeah. If you want to make it a bit more formal, it could be literally like we're training everyone to actually be able to know how to... Well, yeah, duh. They're the clans, man. If there's a will, there's a reason to duel for it. And for this, I don't think it would necessarily be like, we must duel for everything, but like, if it's clearly escalating past the point of diplomacy, it's clearly escalated past the point of diplomacy, and there needs to be something. So instead of having blood on the floor, let's deal with it. But mind you, does that prevent blood? No, and it shouldn't. That's one thing to, if the players say, we're organizing a duel here and we want to be formal. If you're dealing with dishonorable people, nothing's stopping them from just ambushing you guys at the dueling grounds. And suddenly you're in a shitty fight that you may not be able to win. Or you end up in a situation where you're just not good. Or if the players are acting a little bit dishonorable. No one needs to know if no one's alive. Right? Right. I'll start pinning things down. Alright. Escalate every... Allow method to allow. Prove themselves as the victor by their connection to the realms. Thick. We don't need that. I want to do this call. All right, yeah, that could work. Let's see, something along the lines of issues will be unsolved. Yeah, I think that works. Pretty much what I'm thinking about putting, like, just mechanically speaking, in case someone's like, because in things like a game of chance or like a particular game the contestants know well, you can do that. Kind of makes sense in a couple of situations. It's kind of that moment of like, how do we solve this without punching each other to death? That's my thinking. So let's see, what would be the best way of doing things. A method to allow prove themselves by their connection proves themselves the victor and right in the eyes of the Carnival. The character issuing the duel. Issuer. Actually, I should say the challenger. issuing the duel. Issue gives the target. What's a good name? The challenger. The challenger duels the target. Gives the character issuing the duel. The challenger gives the other character the target. I have to choose the when in doubt, time to get boogie. Like, there's another character, the target, the right to choose the initial challenge. Let they choose the initial, actually. Issuing the challenge gives the other character the issuing. That would be a lowercase I. Character issuing the duel gives the other character the target. To lent and admit fault. Admit fault. But if the target refuses, the challenger offers up the first. I don't want to word this. Oh yeah, I think that the provoked. The challenger offers up the first the first contest of their choice. Often these challenges are arbitrated by third party or members of the Urchin Queen's personal court. The provoked may refuse the initial contest, but the challenger will always be the one to decide the initial decide the contest. Once agreed, the two parties will have until the designated time to sort their affairs and prepare themselves for the conflict. Sample devil dances. What would be some demon dice? Challengers simply roll a pair of 3d6s. The two parties simply roll a pair of 3d6s, attempting to be the first one to roll all sixes. alternate rulings for this type of match include keeping sixes, picking up ones and sixes, or being a pure roll of three sixes. Because again, nobody wants this. Nobody wants to get into a duel, but it's like we are unable to avoid it. Let's see, knife dance. The two parties. Stab at their hands quickly until one draws blood. Till one draws blood. Who is first injured is considered the loser. The characters will need to roll a progressively difficult bod or will check to successfully avoid harm. Alright, yep, this is why you always have an arbitrator nearby. And this is a third party. Even if it's just someone, another coven over there who no one really likes, but we all kind of agree that we don't like them. As long as they're there, someone has to arbitrate everything. You can't really practice Demon Dice. That's kind of the safe option from a player perspective, as well as a in-world perspective. It'd be like, if you really just want to leave it entirely up to chance, just roll Demon Dice and pray to whatever god you have. Pugilism. Each other. Until one passes out. Each is 21 blood from their injuries. This is played out like regular combat, with an extra helping of fisticuffs. Yeah, when in doubt, just start beating the crap out of your enemy. That's also American McGee's Alice, and anything that isn't trying to kill you probably wants to do something to kill you later. Yeah, pretty much. Like, when in doubt, like, nothing does quite beat, two guys being like, we hate each other, so we're going to solve this like real men, even though we're collectively maybe 20. Like, dramatically, fucking JoJo tear ripping off shirts as we all just beat the crap out of each other as everyone just gawks and laughs. So, yeah, unfortunately, my boy here, Donovan White, would be the one to be in this, like, yeah, let's just throw down, like, screw all this pansy stuff, no knife dancing, no demon dice, let's just beat each other up until someone passes out. Let me see. That would be a good. What's a? Exactly. Or surrenders. They're like, if you find one kid like who just doesn't want to give up, of course. Let's see. Chess. No, not chess really, because that'd be almost too advanced for kids. What would be a smart man's? What would be a smart man's thing? Oh wait, I know. Oratory. Two. Needed spot. Crowd of fellow urchins and onlookers to debate one another. Debate one another on who should own the territory. Who should own, who wronged who, and who for what reason. The victor is the one who succeeds at the collectively more difficult bravado checks. Quite literally. Yep. The checkers might actually be a good one. Yeah, pretty much it's the oratory is this like we have the basic courtroom, your basic court. This was literally two kids standing on soapboxes just screaming at one another, being like, no, this belongs to me because you did this, and this. And the other one's like, oh yeah, come and get me, asshole. Like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, it's effectively them arguing at each other and having the collective crowd agree or disagree. Like, yeah, no, this kid's clearly in the right, or hey, this kid's clearly in the wrong. You know, it's the court of public opinion. Not as sophisticated as the Greeks. Even though all I can see now is some like fucking Victorian urchins and togas yelling at each other, angrily. When was checkers invented? Okay. Yep. Where chess is the thinking game. Thinking urchin. Who's the thinking urchins? The two parties compete in a series oppose clever checks with the best out of, we'll call it best out of 7 being victorious. Yeah, pretty much. Them arguing with each other should feel like an argument. Oh, wait, I know. Let's see. Communities gather team. And have scatter across a designated area. The victor of the match is the one who discovers the other team first. The entire other team first. Hide and seek. Hide and seek, except it's Metal Gear Solid now. And now, mind you, the thing is, I'm not saying anywhere through here you can't use magic. That's the key. That's the key big oof moment. Obviously, the arbitrator is going to, like, if you try to, like, I'm going to turn my fist into a stone with pugilism, someone's going to call you out on it. Someone's going to be like, don't be a dick. Or it's like, hey, demon dies. Someone, you violated the rules. But with, like, hide and go seek, nothing's saying that the people trying to get sought can't do something about it. Nothing is saying that. All they have to do is be found. If they want to try to turn themselves invisible, they can try. But that also means the other team can try to expose them. So hide and seek may seem very simple, but it also turns into a game of cat and mouse, where you're trying to gather your team to find their team to lead you to them. But if you have someone shouting at the top of their lungs, he's by me, both of them are going to start running toward them, being like, he's obviously toward them. Like, I'm going to find one person, he'll find a person. What would be another? Yeah. Anyway, we'll just use these ones. I think these ones work fairly comprehensively. I think you get the idea of what is considered a suitable devil dance. Just pretty much there needs to be two people against each other trying to compete to see who is right and who is wrong, and hopefully without any bloodshed. That's kind of the key. Oh goodness. No knives. That'd be the pretty obvious rule. Unless we're Nigerian Nambe fighting, but that's a completely different thing. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's the outside of distinct accidents. So, yeah. Oh, wait. Use of lethal damage. Outside of distinct accidents, of course, is grounds. There we go. I was getting ahead of myself, but effectively, if you accidentally punch someone into a nail, well, that's an accident, of course. You could have accidentally planted that nail there earlier, but hey, we don't need to talk about that part, right? We're all friends here. And it's sometimes kind of hard when you're in the middle of a fight. You just punch some kid and he slams his head against the curb and suddenly he doesn't have a head anymore. Okay, this is to avoid bloodshed. Not exactly saying that it's impossible, that it's possible to completely avoid it unless some people are playing chess or checkers. But, yeah. Actually, I should just put a footnote. If a So there's a story hook and a half. Ta-da! So you're thinking on my wavelength now. Yeah, no, the little footnote right here, generally agree that peace can be met before then. Duel ceases immediately. That's a kind of a plot hook if you want to do things being less like, well, we're going to have to duel the biggest, scariest gang around here, and they pretty much said we're going to have to fight them in, you know, a pugilism match, and our strongest person has a body of 2. And so we need to think of something different. New plan, everybody. The new plan is simple. We have to fix the issue before we need to pretty much reach peace with them beforehand. We may only have a day to do such, but that's what we have to do. Or if you have, or if your coven, something in my throat, this is annoying. If your coven is called to arbitrate, being like, oh, well, we like these two. Yeah, well, we like these two people. You know, we don't want them to fight. We don't want them to get into a disagreement. And it also does not benefit us at all if these people get this thing. Either of these people. So it's just like, let's try to solve the issue beforehand. Let's fix the problems before here. Pretty much. Or get the queen involved. Like, if that's a dedicated, you know, answer. Like, yeah, pretty much. No, it's that or pretty much by royal decree, stop this shit. So if this duel is clearly bad for everyone, if you can cash in a favor with the Urchin Queen and suddenly she says, can't do that, very bad, stop that. They have to obey by it or risk, you know, losing standing. So that's kind of the back and forth there. It's like, you were all going to work together, whether you like it or not. And oh crap, we had to burn, you know, our favor to pretty much make sure that these people don't kill themselves, that we have a vested interest in. Why are you bold? Stop being bold. Okay, perfect. Alright, so advancement, nobody's the somebodies. I believe we are effectively done. When I say effectively done, I still need to do enemies. And obviously I need to go through and just double check everything to make sure everything is nice, clean, and proper like. So if you would like me to send this over to you now and have you review everything at your convenience, I can do that. Or if you would like me to get the enemies section done, I can wrap that up probably tonight and send it to you or tomorrow. That's kind of your decision on that matter. I can do both. Yeah, don't fuck with the queen. Either queen, to be honest. Like if I've learned anything, you know, Queen Victoria, not very nice. Mostly because I'm going to be stealing something wholeheartedly from the Order 1886 to pretty much make Queen's Guardsmen. They're the ones with Victoriana rifles that can kill you instantly. I did a quick test roll beforehand with a basic service rifle. And it killed a child instantly by getting shot with one. So, God forbid you actually get shot with an automatic weapon that can be shot 4 times for 46 each. You and all your friends are dead then. Yeah, pretty much. That's Victoriana rifles in a nutshell. But if you've attracted the Queen's Guard at that point, you're kind of double plus fucked if you look. Yeah. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call stream here, and I will wrap all of this up probably tonight or later because I need to eat dinner because I'm kind of hungry right now. But thank you for tuning in, as always. We got a lot of things done, and overall, things are looking pretty solid. And I should ask, would you like to see this in the Google Doc, or would you like to see this in a PDF? Your call. Or would you like both? I don't know what works best for you. Let's actually see how many words this is. 7,000 words. And let's see, with enemies, probably add that up to... We may get to 8,000 words on this. Alright, yeah, we're looking at about 8,000 words if everything goes squeaky, clean, perfect. And that's if I end up... This is why we do double checks. Because you don't notice little footnotes that don't get typed wrong. Alright, I should get everything to you tomorrow. Expect it around, I would say, hopefully, afternoon my time. But as that goes, give me the heads up, and from there I can actually give you a little bit more pricing information and how that's going to go. I just want to make sure that this is the way you want it, because I've been kind of flying blind on a few places, i.e. with the magic. Yeah. Just look at the path of otherware when you get it, just to make sure I'm actually reading it right, because I'm looking into logic of numbers. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to do at this time? I don't believe so. So, alright. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Godspeed and good luck. Yippee-ki-yay.